member spotlight is coming from Allies in Service, which we have Charlie Webster with us today. And she's going to talk about that organization. It was started, and I'll let her talk about the origin story a little bit, but it was started by definitely one of my heroes, and I'm sure one of several of your heroes in here. And they have a great mission that is there to help transitioning veterans. I was actually in this boat a couple of years ago and looked into Allies in Service and happened to get a job before I really needed to go down that route. But I will turn it over to Charlie. And what I'll do is, Charlie, is I'll go ahead and present that PowerPoint that you requested.
All right, thank you so much. Again, I'm Charlie Webster. I am a relationship manager with Allies in Service. I just want to say thank you so much for letting us come and inviting us to talk about Allies in Service. We are fully funded, and we're founded by Roger Staubach. We are a 501c3. Since we're funded by Roger Staubach, we do not write for grants. We don't worry about federal funding at all. We don't solicit for money or anything like that. And that being said, we are allowed to do this the way we want to do it. We don't have numbers that we have to fill. We're not competing with other nonprofits. We actually like to work with other nonprofits and support them as a whole in the veteran community. We all want to work together. So we're not trying to take away, we're trying to give as much as we possibly can. I myself am, my affiliation to the military is military spouse. My husband is in the Army. He actually did 4 years in the Navy, but now he is been in the Army for the last 20-something years. I lose count at this point. So I'll give you a quick overview. So Allies in Service provides assistance to veterans and spouses. So we consider the spouse very important also. We help you find employment in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So why this is important for us to be on this call is because we're always looking for businesses to partner with. We partner with a lot of the big companies in Dallas and Fort Worth area who want to hire veterans. So we do things like networking events. All of the candidates who come through our program will do mock interviews. So we rely on our business partners to provide HR staff to volunteer their time to do those mock interviews. We do free resume writing. Everything we do is free for the veteran and for the company. So let's say that a company might want to partner with us, but you're not really sure about how that works, or maybe you need for us to come and talk to your HR about how to hire a veteran or why to hire a veteran. We certainly do not want you to think you have to feel sorry for the veteran and let's hire him. I mean, veterans have incredible, as you all know, training in the military, and they have the best work ethic. So we want to encourage businesses who don't understand that to embrace it and to understand that it is the best way to go. So we will come and we'll assist you, your company, your HR department. We will take your jobs off of your website and post them on our links and on our job board on LinkedIn. Once we partner with a company, we try to get in as much as we can with their veteran ERG. And if you don't have a veteran ERG, an employee resource group, we can help you develop one, which is really important for companies to have this specific type of ERG. Those volunteers in that department usually will come back and help Allies in Service with maybe looking at resumes for us or working with the mock interviews that we do. We are a little bit challenged right now in that, we can't go out and we can't be face to face with people. So we rely really heavily on on Zoom. Unfortunately, networking events are a little bit challenging. They're not as good as meeting somebody in person, but they are better than nothing. Um, One thing that is important with whenever we partner with a company is getting somebody in their HR department or even like a C-level person who will push hiring veterans, having a veteran hiring initiative. So we look for companies who have websites that promote that they hire veterans, and if they don't, we try to encourage them to list those things in their companies. Websites like put up, that they're veteran friendly, but connecting with somebody who will push that initiative and getting HR folks who will maybe look at a resume and put that resume on the right person's desk, like actually hand a resume to a recruiter or an HR professional so that it'll go to that next step, because employment is our biggest mission. We might do other things for veterans, and we have a big push at Christmas. We do a lot of giving, and we will help veterans any way we can, but employment is the biggest is our biggest mission. um, we do try to connect with as many HR people as possible with companies. They really are they really are our sweet spot. We like to get some feedback. Once the veteran comes through our portal and they go to a veteran employment training class with Chris Cooper, they learn a little bit about how to network and how to translate their skills a little bit. But that being said, every company is different. So having that one or two people at a company who would be willing to talk to a veteran, whether he's transitioning or not, but especially if they're recently transitioning, they want to talk to someone at a company who could maybe guide them on where they should be applying. A lot of times that's the biggest challenge, is someone transitioning out. They have a specific MOS in the military, but when they get out, they want to apply that, or maybe they don't even want to do that anymore. But talking to somebody in a company who is willing to look over their resume and maybe make some suggestions on some departments within their company who, you know, where they might want to apply, is so helpful. And that's again where like someone in a veteran ERG might come in handy, because they will volunteer their time to maybe guide them in that search. Another big thing that we have is the Warrior Mentorship Program, which is specifically for transitioning veterans. We have about 30 mentors right now, and these, for the most part, I would say 99% of them are veterans themselves. You don't have to be a veteran, you just have to have that passion for helping veterans. But our mentors volunteer their time. It's a year-long program, and we have meetings every other month. You guys are, welcome. If you're interested in becoming a mentor, let me know. I can definitely tell you, how that process works. It's really, you just have to have a passion for helping. But those mentors will really guide that person as they transition. We talk a lot about cultural differences. We talk about communication differences. I'm sure a lot of you guys are veterans yourself. So when you came out of the military and you got your first job, I'm sure you understood what the challenge was. So having a mentor, someone who will maybe guide you, is helping you keep your job and then even promote in your job, is kind of what we try to do in there in the Warrior Mentorship Program. So even once the veteran gets their job, we encourage them to stick with the program for at least a year so that they keep their mentor and grow that relationship. Does anybody have any questions at this point? I feel like I've spilled out a whole lot of information and not really stopped at all. So yeah, does anybody have any questions?
I'd just ask you if it's okay. Do you have a percentile of veterans coming out, how long they stay in their first job? Because I know I used to teach transition, and it was normally it was about the third job you found after coming out, but don't know what current statistics might be.
The last time I looked at it, which was, I think it was last year or in 20, might have even been early 2020, I looked at it, and it was about 44% of them did not stay in their first job. It's a big deal, and as you know, if you taught transition, it is it is a big deal, and we try to teach that to our recently transitioning veterans, that don't jump into that very first job, don't panic and think, oh, I'm not going to get another opportunity, so I've got to take this without knowing anything about culture. I mean, we talk a lot about, do your research, which we teach them how to do that. A lot of that's on LinkedIn. Talk to some people, get on Glassdoor, look and see what your salary ranges are, but also meet people who work at that company virtually and just ask them what the culture's like. With the Warrior Mentorship Program, our mentors come from many different companies. It could be L3 Harris, could be Lockheed. We do a lot of defense contractors, but we also do, like NTT Data and other just normal companies not related to defense. And they let us come and tour their company. We do events with companies where you can come on and have like a panel of 3 or 4 people who want to talk about who they are and what they are and the jobs that they have available. And then our veterans can ask as many questions as they want about the company and the hiring process. I mean, getting our candidates in front of as many companies as possible throughout the year is a big goal for us. We want our candidates to really do their research so that they are a good fit for our company, which it's important. It's nothing worse than starting a job and realizing you made a mistake, and it happens way too often. So anybody else have any questions?
How do you guys address stress? Not just traditional PTSD, but change is a stressor. Do you guys help our veterans manage that stress? Because when my first job after I got out, the biggest question I had is how does this company make money? Because they did not have any structure. It was all helter skelter from my perspective. I adapted, but it was really weird to begin with because it wasn't, there was no chain of command. It was just really weird. It was different. So, how do you teach folks how to manage that stress factor?
Well, so we do rely heavily on the mentors, and what you're talking about is definitely a reason why we have the mentorship program. We definitely hear stories just like what you're explaining. The veteran goes to a company, and we had one person comes to mind. He was in the Army, and actually he worked at the base in Grand Prairie, and he was really squared away. I mean, he really had all his ducks in a row. He did exactly everything that he should have done. He started about 6 months early before his terminal leave, and he really he did everything he was supposed to do. And he got a great job with a great company that started a week after he transitioned out of the military. I mean, it was flawless, everything he did. It was just textbook. It was perfect. And we thought, this guy, this is our poster child, like it was perfect. And he was in the mentorship program. He was a protege. He had a great mentor. Started with this company, and within, I don't know, maybe 2 months, he was struggling, and he would call me and say, I do not know what I'm doing. My boss is kind of a jerk. I don't know if I'm even doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I mostly sit at my desk. I don't have any friends here. I'm having a hard time connecting with people here. I mean, he just really like, I don't know the word for it, but he panicked and he did not acclimate well at all. And I think he left that we urged him to please stay. So we had we didn't have a mentor at this company, but we had a really good guy that gives us feedback on our applications. I mean, he just didn't have time to mentor, but we talked to him about it, and he said, please have this guy call me, let me help him get through this. And he was so afraid to go outside of his chain of command over to this guy. He was afraid that he would get in trouble or get someone else in trouble. He just wouldn't do it. So instead of listening to us and listening to this man who actually worked at his company, he just quit. He just couldn't do it and quit. And it was a great job. I mean, one of those jobs that people just are hungry for. And he ended up landing on his feet, you know, about 6 months later at another company. But we worked really hard with him, and we got him a couple of mentors who worked hard with him to help him understand kind of why that happened and how to prevent that from happening again. So yeah, in answer to your question, we do try our best to work with those stressors and to help people be successful. But that what you described is exactly the reason why we have the mentorship program. It's a very successful program, and you know, I wish it was nationwide, but it's just, you know, local Dallas Fort Worth. Um, and now more than ever, it's needed during this time. And we've even branched it out and let just veterans who've transitioned out maybe 10 years ago, they're finding that they need mentors and the networking tools and stuff because they're finding themselves without jobs now. And so it's ever expanding and ever evolving, and we're always looking for new ideas and new ways to do things. So connecting with folks like you guys is always good.
Hey, Charlie.
Yes.
Charlie, this is Bernie. I have another business that specializes in information technology and engineering staffing, and sourcing vets is too doggone challenging. I mean, it's too fractured. Is there a one-stop monster.com kind of a lookalike place where employers can go and know that they're dealing strictly with unemployed vets?
Other than, you know, not with what happened. Allies in Service does not have like a database like that, but you know, going through like Recruit Military, they have a thing like that. They have a source like that, and we do a lot of stuff with the Recruit Military. But if you want to work with Allies in Service and you want to have access to our veterans, you can definitely reach out to us, and we, you know, especially if you have specific jobs that you're trying to fill, we will try to match those up. So we're sort of like staffing, but we're free, and we are not as big. I mean, there's literally
I think your answer might be no, but if you're in the not-for-profit world, I think the idea of a single site specific to unemployed vets might be a good idea. You know, spread the word, because we have 100 different places that we have to source just to find a vet. So I think consolidation would be a good idea.
Yeah, I do think that Recruit Military has something like this.
Okay.
Have you guys heard of Veteran Ascend? Veterans Ascend website. It's Veterans Ascend, ASCEND.com. And I think they are a website that's similar to what you're talking about, Bernie. It's kind of like the monster of employment, and veterans can, it's specifically for veterans and military spouses, and you can sign up to look for jobs, and as an employer, you can sign up to hire, I believe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bernie, through our headquarters, we also have a portal which you can, because you're one of our members, I mean, you can just go in there and post a job, or if you're a veteran, you can submit your resume and post that you're looking for a job, and they're nationwide as well. So
Oh.
that's available through our membership, through our headquarters.
Thank you.
Charlie Paul Hendricks, with Veteran Center North Texas. Good to see you. With Veteran Center North Texas, we send you quite a few people looking for jobs. Our number one issue is not the person coming right out of the military necessarily. Our experience level is men and women that are veterans, 50 years old and older, are looking for jobs because of a lot of different conditions. Number one, the 30-year-old takes their job and the 50-year-old has to go looking for a job. It is extremely difficult when you're 50 years old and above to find a job. And so we send them to you. It's just a tough scenario. Do you have any comments on that?
Not any much more than I agree with you. It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not impossible though. I mean, for me, it seems like it's more once you get to that 60. We seem to have pretty good success between 50 and 60. It's definitely the over 60 for me. I mean, we do have some success, but I don't know.
It's a tough one.
I mostly just have bad stories about,
Yeah.
People trying to get employment. I don't think there's an answer to how to do that. We discussed this with our employment partners. And what I typically will do is with the companies where I have really good relationships with it, like Wells Fargo, just hands down, I can just about call them anytime and give them, hey, this is somebody who is fantastic. They're over 50, but can you please work with them, have a phone call with them, and we have different companies like that where, I mean, ageism is real, and you're not really supposed to talk about it, but the facts are the facts. And if somebody's been looking for over a year, they don't really care if you discuss how old they are with your contact, because that's the reason why they're not getting hired. So I mean, it's a tough call. It's not easy.
It's just, I appreciate your thoughts on that. I'm going to give you a call and see if I can come down and meet you. It's been a while since I met you and David. And
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, Charlie.
Domingo Rodriguez.
Go ahead, Domingo. I'll wait.
Oh, okay. I was like, who's talking? Who else is? Thank
Yes,
you.
me.
Yep. So, just wanted to throw out there, Charlie, that I went through the program in 2014, and it was a great experience. It was great. It actually taught me that I didn't really want to be in the workforce as an employee. It kind of taught me that experience of wanting to start my own business and going through that. And you guys hooked me up with a mentor who was a business owner, and it was just such a great experience. I found that since I was right on the edge of that transition timeline, because I think I was like right at 3 years, which is the Department of Labor's definition for transitioning, veteran, and what helped was speaking to all those HR managers, all those people who worked in the different HRs for, I think we had Mercedes-Benz, Galderma, the Texas Motor Speedway, Sewell, having them talk about what they're looking for and what they're what they're wanting in great candidates was awesome to me, in the sense that it cut out all the fat, and left the best parts on the table for me to sit there and pick through and go, okay, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. I think it is a great program in terms of finding employment, professional employment for people. I didn't think that it was a good program for someone who was just, trying to find their, who didn't know that they wanted to have a career. They would just like, I need a job just to pay for stuff, just to get this. And I know a lot of people who are like, oh, send them to Allies in Service. And I'm like, that's not really, I mean, you guys, am I wrong in that, or is that just my perception?
Well, I mean, anyone who's looking for employment, any veteran or spouse that's looking for employment, definitely send them our way. Even if you don't know what you want to do, a lot of people are finding themselves wanting to change careers, even if they have been out of the military for a long time. So we want to help you figure out what you want to be when you grow up. I mean, we're happy to help. If you want to be an entrepreneur, we have connections, just like said, we kind of connected you with somebody who was a business owner. But yeah, I mean, we really want to help the veteran find employment or figure out what they want to do. So absolutely, that's as simple as I can put it. Is yeah. Even if you've been out of the military 25 years, we're still going to do our best. I mean, that puts you at probably 70 years old. Yeah, we want to do our best. Is that what you were asking?
I mean, yeah, maybe it was just because I only went through the Warrior Mentorship Program, and so it was,
Yeah.
it seemed like it was targeted differently, and everything else is.
Well, so the Warrior Mentorship Program in 2014 was open to all veterans and spouses. So it wasn't geared now it is geared just to transitioning veterans. That's where you come to the meetings and all of that. So all of the topics are geared towards transitioning. So we've changed it a little bit. But if you're a veteran who needs a mentor, we will give you a mentor outside of that. You may not want to come to those meetings because the topics won't apply to you, but if you want a mentor, we're going to give you a mentor. If you want the list of our mentors where you can reach out for networking purposes, we'll do that also. We have some fantastic mentors in the program. Some of them have changed since you were in the program. We like Galderma doesn't participate anymore, but we've got a lot of really good companies in the program, and a lot of really good mentors.
Thank you so much. Jeff, did you have a question?
Yes, I was going to commend Charlie, as well as thank you for your presentation this morning. And I've been in the DFW area since I transitioned out in 2002, and this is the first time I've heard of this service. Period, literally. So, and yeah, I've never heard of it. Of course, everyone knows Roger Staubach, but I did not know Roger. His organization was doing this. So I'm going to reach out to you. I just sent you a text, but obviously that number is on the screen was not a text number. It must have been an office number.
No. And you know what? I can put I will put my cell phone in the chat, as this goes to, that number goes to my cell anyway.
Okay. Well, I put my information in a private message to you. Go ahead, Christy.
Allies in Service is one of our members, and they are on our member directory. So all of her information is there. So if you guys go to the homepage under membership directory and just scroll down, you'll see her information, her email, address, website, any of the links that you need on there. So Christine, do you want to wrap things up?
I will wrap things up and say thank you, Charlie, for speaking with us today and sharing what Ally Service is about and what you offer for our veterans and their spouses, it sounds like. Thank you so much for all of that. And if anybody has any further questions, reach out to her individually because we can only ask her so many questions this morning. We run out of time and we want to be conscious of everybody's time. But thank you so much. We went ahead and posted on social media our thank yous and the links in the chat area. So if you want to click on and go to our Facebook page and to our LinkedIn page and go in and say, thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Allies in Service, and let them know that we appreciate them and what they do for us. And at this point, we probably want to say, are there any announcements coming up? Anything anybody needs to share? You've got a workshop, you've got anything going on that you want to share with our members?
Ron?
Yes, real quick. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I went to the DMV a couple of days ago, and I was informed, a lot of you may already know this, I didn't, that if you don't take either your passport or your birth certificate down before October 21st of this year, you will not be allowed into any government buildings or to take any flights in the United States. They have that gold star, but they've changed it since a lot of things have happened. So a lot of seniors are having issues with that because they can't find their birth certificate. So you may want to help if you have a parent or elderly person, help them find that birth certificate, or they won't be able to fly or get in any government buildings.
Wow, I was unaware. I knew about the flying thing, but I was not aware of getting into government buildings. Good to know. Thank you for sharing, Ron. Anybody else have any announcements?
Well, let me can I throw in the birth certificate? If you can't find your birth certificate like mine, there's an online service and you just need to know city, county, year, and it's like 25 or 30 bucks. So that helps if you just can't find one. But you also have to have the seal. It can't be just a birth certificate. It has to have the embossed seal that they can feel. So the one I did find was so old it had no seal on it.
So an
A lot of
official,
changes.
an official one. Okay. That's good to know. Otherwise, if you ordered the wrong one, the unofficial might not do what you want to do. Yeah. Any other announcements? Things coming up?
Yes, just with the VA does have the vaccine, and right now they are only, it is only available to older veterans like seniors or veterans with 3 or more health issues such as diabetes, obesity, and I can't remember what was the other criteria, but if you are of any age with 3 compromising health issues, you are eligible to receive the vaccine. So you can call the VA, just regular number, and make an appointment and go get seen. If you are over a certain age, and they really didn't specify, but I'm thinking anybody over probably 70 is eligible to receive the vaccine through the VA as well. And then there is our state website, which is the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons, and I'll put the website online. They have the protocols for preventative COVID treatments, early COVID protocol treatment examples, and then the ones for high risk. And it is a brochure that you can download and print. And this has been approved by the government all the way to the White House. It was approved for our state. And so you can go in here if you want to prevent and you're healthy. They have the approved protocol all over the counter that you can do so that you are in charge of your health. And that website is aapsonline.org. Alpha, Alpha, Papa, Serpent, Oscar, Nancy, line.org. So you can go find that information on there. The VA has it on there. And then also your local cities and firehouses will also have the vaccine if you are of the required age category. So you can call them you don't want to go to the VA, you can make appointments with them as well.